All right, and we're live. So happy Friday. Finally, yeah. So finally a week where the S&P is up. I think over the past 5 days, was it up by 5% or something? Yeah, 7%. Not bad. Not bad. So yeah, things are finally recovering from the absolute crazy sell-off that we've seen. Today, I will be really honest, there is nothing relevant going on. Today is just one of those days where, nothing relevant happened. Some stocks are up, technology, semiconductors, the usuals. And then the usuals are down, consumer defensive, etc. Maybe I'm going to have to move my avatar. So, there you go. My avatar, I mean, oh yeah, I can move around the screen. That's cool. Anyways, today actually I want to focus on screening through stocks. I will leave aside the industries because we've seen that in the past lives, and I'm not really that interested now about about industries. I want to see stocks. So let's go to Stock Rover. I'm gonna have to refresh this because I think it's not. Sometimes it gives me an error. I really don't know why. It gives me some strange. Yeah, couldn't process your request. Come on, I'm in a live video. I need the data. We're live. Look again. You're joking. Let me see again. So screeners. There you go. Finally, and we're on. So let's go straight to the daily screener. We're gonna use my top mover filter. Should I use top mover or top volume? Let's look by the top movers. So again, these are equities that trade in the US markets. We have a market cap filter by, how much is it? 100 million. Price over 1. I like penny stocks, but not that much. To me, a penny stock is anywhere between 1 and 5. And these are stocks that trade in either the New York Stock Exchange or Nasdaq. By the way, these are not necessarily based in the US. Some companies are based abroad and they trade in these stock exchanges. So you have a nice number of stocks in here. Good. So 1 day return. Let's see the big. Wow. Big bear. Oh, I was short. Big bear in January to February. Wow, what the heck happened there? They had earnings probably. Holy shit, no earnings. Something happened. I'm just curious. I'm curious on Big Bear because this thing made absolute no sense. Okay. To deploy its AI-powered platform for Austal USA. What? Huh. Is this another short? Let's see. It said on Thursday that it will deploy its AI machine learning power heavy manufacturing planning and production platform for Austal USA, one of the largest shipbuilders in the US. Is this really enough to move the share price by 21%? Let's see, there was another article, this one. Let's see, Big Bear. Why? I can't believe it. It's because of this deal. It will deploy its AI machine learning. I gotta see a filing. I gotta see the filing. What's the deal? What's the deal with that contract? Of course, there is no 8K. Amazing. I like these companies that are very transparent with everything. So it's gonna be a press release. Let's see, investor relation. There we go. That's the one, yeah. Now, am I gonna read all this? Okay, it's not a long document. Usually I summarize this using. I'm gonna do it because maybe you haven't seen the way I read these articles. I just summarize them and I use a script. Well, I wouldn't call it a script. It's more like a prompt engineering where I simplify the wordings, because I I just don't like to read bullshit. I do that at work all day. I'm one of the bullshitters in my day job. So I just don't want to read bullshit. So that simplifies everything. So let's see. Okay, we provide AI powered planning platform. We already know that. Any numbers? Any figures? Yo, is this a multi-billion dollar contract or what the heck is this? Austral USA builds ships for US Navy and it's investing heavily in modernizing its operations at its Mobile, Alabama headquarters. I don't get it. Man, am I missing a figure? Where are the numbers? There's got to be a number here. No. Let me see again the share price. BBAI. There is a lot of volume. So I don't know. Maybe these are just the traders that are hoping on the hype, which makes sense. I mean, the S&P is hitting all-time highs compared to the past weeks. So usually the way I do things is that I only short stocks when the broader markets are down. No, there are exceptions. If the narrative of the company is really crazy and it doesn't make any sense, then I don't care about the S&P 500. If that is up or down, it doesn't matter. But for stocks like Big Bear, I don't know. It's hype, and hype works very well when the broader markets are hitting all-time highs. So yeah, let's leave it aside. I'm not gonna bother with this stock because it's not even a buy, because 20% in one day is gonna come back. So says that's another. Says yeah, rings a bell to me. Oh my gosh, is hype? Wait a second. Yo, wait a second. Is hype up today? Holy shit. Hype is up today. I haven't seen this in a while. How about the where are the quantum stocks? Where is Rigetti? It's not. Why not? It's probably because is it down? Nah, I can't believe it. Rigetti's gotta be in the list. What happened to Rigetti? Rigetti barely moved, 0.75. D-Wave? I wouldn't say that there is a lot of hype right now in the quantum sector. What's the other one? Quantum computing and IonQ is the last one. No, nothing really outstanding in the quantum industry today. This was interesting. How much was the spike? 10%, 12% in one day. Who needs to buy dividend stocks anyways? This looks bullish. Call me crazy, but this looks quite bullish. It's a breakout. I mean, I'm not a trader. I know. Sounds a bit weird if I say it's bullish because it looks like I'm trading or day trading. Price action based on the chart. If in the next week this is holding up, that will be enough to not even consider a short, in my opinion. Yes, these companies make absolute no sense, but these companies are fueled by hype. And when hype is up, usually it's the same time when the S&P 500 is up. So you gotta be very careful with these hype stocks. But yeah, this I remember this. You see, every time you see a chart where I draw lines, it's because I did analysis. So I did analysis back in February this year. And you can see I draw there a line. Some people say technical analysis doesn't matter. I don't think so. Look at this. As soon as this trend line broke, bam. There you go. Why is this up? It doesn't make any sense. I don't think Big Bear was up because of that press release. I gotta say, I don't know. Why? Earnings. Oh shit, they had earnings. I didn't realize that. Was it after market close? Yeah. It was earnings, yeah. Launch of molecular universe platform. Hmm. I don't know. I won't do analysis for SES. I don't know. I don't think now is the moment to buy momentum stocks. I don't think so. Um, Momentum stocks that don't have an underlying business, or the underlying business is quite soft, you know. I mean, if you look at the net income for this company, it's probably negative. Probably. Can I bet on this? Oh, negative 35 million in the past quarter. And let's see how much cash is burning. They're burning 12 million a month. 23 in Q3 last year. That's 65, 66 million per year. And how much they have in cash? 260. That's about 4 years of cash runway. If they don't dilute investors, which go figure if that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So hype is up. That's good. That's good. I like hype. Coursera. These are probably earnings. These are probably earnings. Core, let's see again. Earnings. Yeah. Holy shit. Up by 13%. I thought this was 6, the competitor for Hertz. No, it's not. A60. I'm just curious. Are these legit businesses? Do they have earnings? Do they have positive cash flow? What's going on? Earnings as well. Let's look at it's earnings season, so it's normal that we have a lot of ups. Let me see what's the it's a legit company. My God, it's actually quite good. 150 million per quarter or per year? Per year. 157 million in operating cash flow. That's quite decent, to be honest. Oh, there you go. I have a comment. I thought, oh, what? Is this a Russian bot or an actual person? I remember the guys from the comments. Yeah. Pfizer beat with 0.63 over 0.47 was 0.68 USA company and it's in selling. Okay. Why are you looking at penny stocks? Why? So I'm looking at a screener and I'm trying to understand what's going on in the market. So I try to look for trends. And the main reason is to understand what's going on right now. Where is the market allocating money, allocating capital? And usually that has been, the strategy has been quite successful, particularly in Q4 last year, where I identified the quantum stocks because I just used a screener, not by the daily increase in prices or daily decrease in prices, but by volume. So I was just looking at, 5-day average volume versus the last 3 months. And I was looking at what's here in the top list. And as soon as you identify a few stocks that are very similar, and you look at the news and you see a significant spike in volume and there is not really nothing going on for the stock, then you can say, right, so the market is looking at this sector and they're buying just because. And those plays usually end up very well. At least they did for me. So that's why I was looking for things. The more stocks you look, the better you are in understanding where the market is allocating their money. So yeah. Where was I? Yeah, going back to top movers. So just to understand what's going on. So we have, this company is legit earnings. I'm not going to go through details. I just want to understand what companies are on the top. Okay, communications, telecom, quite a few telecom companies here. Huh? I think they had probably earnings. CHDR. Earnings. Yes, there you go. They missed earnings. EPS and yet the stock is up by 11%. You see, so how about this one? They gotta be competitors, no? LB RDA. Let me see what's going on there. There you go. You see, this is exactly what I meant. So if you have a look back to, what was the name of the previous one? CHTR. CHTR. Check this out. This company had earnings today. Yeah. Stock is up by 11%. For absolute no fucking reason, this other stock, Liberty Broadband, is up by 12%, almost the same. And I think the previous one, is it the same? Liberty Broadband. I think they're the same, but they have different tickers. Yeah, quite strange. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a class, a different, they have a dual class maybe. But yeah, interesting. So Telecom was up, nothing outstanding, so I won't spend time. I won't spend more time. What's the next one? Gencor. Oh, okay. Not bad over the past month. Yeah, not the best performance though. Yeah, and these ones they went down with the S&P. Course. Wow. Let's see, what do we have here? Course Scientific. Up, no earnings. Man, this is hype. Hype is up today, man. Hype was up. Is hype back? Is finally this is there gonna be a fucking turnaround like this over the next how long until the end of the tariffs? Is that 70 days, I think, from today? Course Scientific. It rings a bell to me. Course. What is the guys with the GPUs for gaming? All right, HPC. Amazing AI. I tell you, this hype is up. Perfect. All right, not gonna spend more time. I know I just need to know what's going on. I'm not gonna analyze each equity on that screener for the moment. What else do we have? Evolve, EVLV. Let me just see. Course, were there any news? Let's see. Why is the stock up 10%? Absolute no fucking news. You see what I mean? Amazing. EVLV. What's that? Let me just see. Evolve Technologies. I don't know. This sounds like legit. Let's see what they do. AI-based weapon detection system. All right, let's have a look at the operating cash flow. The company is burning 39 million a year. And if we look at the let's see, cash whole, 56 million. They have to direct investors. They don't have any other. They don't have. Maybe they can raise debt. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the details on the stock, but EVLV, it doesn't look very. I don't know. This is beating up prior to earnings. You know the saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. When is earnings? 7th of May. So that's 2 weeks from now. In 2 weeks, this can go anywhere. But if earnings were tomorrow, and if I were to see something like this, I don't know. I would play it with puts. I don't know. All right, so yeah, let's go back to the screener. Solar, I can't believe it. I tell you, hype is back. Hype is back. Holy shit. Yeah, no news. You see what I mean? absolutely no fucking news. And this is up. ARAY. No news. Holy shit. Yeah, this is the one with the software, no? Yeah, the company is headquartered in New Mexico. Okay, so they have solar tracking systems to optimize the orientation of those solar panels. Yeah. So I remember, I think I did analysis for this company time ago. Last year, for sure, last year, definitely not this year. But it does ring a bell to me very, very much. And I remember that, yeah, stock didn't look. Ooh, operating cash flow. This is legit. That's quite legit. 154 million in operating cash flow. Not bad. Capex is really small, so free cash flow is quite decent. Not bad. How about debt? The issued debt, 93 million. Okay. They repaid 100. Not bad. Is this an undervalued stock? 360 million in cash and short-term investments. Decent. Decent. Did insiders buy? I don't know if... aren't they based in Mexico? I think I said they were based in Mexico, no? Mexico or New Mexico? New Mexico. It's sad that I can't see insider buying activity. ARRY. There it is. Nothing. I mean, yeah, end of last year, but nothing recent, like right now. That is solar. You can look at those. Yeah. I don't know. So what I have, yeah. I'm not going to do analysis for the company, so I believe that, yeah, this increased at 10% today, yesterday 5%, or no news. It's already telling me that that hype is going back to the market. Tesla up by 10%. Holy shit. Let's see. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to buy it now. Definitely not. But I don't know. It makes me think that these hyped stocks that make no sense, fundamentals, 0 sense. Narrative, maybe they have a few catalysts. Tesla, of course, they have the deployment of robotaxis in Dallas. I believe that they already deployed it for their customers, for their employees, but not for the public. But yeah, I'm seeing here companies that make no sense, and they were up today. Software applications. Okay, not bad. Let's look at volume now. So volume, it gives me a better idea on what people are buying. So here it's important to make a differentiation between what is volume and dollar volume. So volume is how many shares have exchanged hands during a day. In this case, it's 1 day volume. And the dollar volume is you take the shares and you multiply it by the price at which they were transacted. So for example, if I buy 10 shares and the stock price is $10, yeah. In that case, the dollar volume is 100 because each share was bought for $10. And the volume will be only 10 because I only bought 10 shares. I look at both, by the way. If you only look at dollar volume, you're going to miss a lot of stocks that were purchased over the past, okay, I look at 1 day, but 5 days as well, and 10 days, and so on. But you're going to miss because you're only going to see the Mark 7 and, the big guns. So by the time an exciting stock appears, you will only see it by dollar volume when it's already too late, when the stock is already high. So Let's have a look by 1 day volume. So of course, Nvidia, Tesla, Intel, yeah, big bear. It's crazy. I really don't think, I do not think that that news moved, that news definitely moved this by 20%. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. And there was no information on the contract. There was no information as to how much the deal was with that US company. Yeah. Palantir up. Yeah, but the 5 day, you see, 5 day average volume versus 3 months average volume down. You see, so these are today, popping up today, but if you look at the past 5 days, they are still quiet. Fords, yeah, of course, yeah, sis, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The hype is up. Lucid as well. Ah, come on. American Airlines. Okay, this is not hype. Probably it's undervalued. I mean, the chart looks absolutely awful. And yes, there are reports that people are not flying that much in the US. I'm not sure if it's related to the tariff or to the Trump situation. I'm not sure. It might be a coincidence. This doesn't look necessarily bad, huh? So as I said, I don't like the fact that the stock has been bouncing on this support, apparently at 10. Sorry, I have a question. So what is the solar ETF? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Michael. Solar ETF. I usually don't buy ETFs. There is. So I think I can find here a screener by ETFs, but yeah, I really don't know what you mean by the question by the solar ETF. You can do a ChatGPT search. There you go. So give me a list of solar ETFs. There you go. And that's going to tell you pretty much the mainstream ones that people buy. Maybe some of these. I was considering one of these leveraged ETFs for the S&P 500. But then, I have an ISA account, which is equivalent, I believe, to a Roth IRA in the US. And because I live in Europe, I'm not allowed to buy ETFs that trade in the US. I can't believe it. So I'm gonna have to cancel that account and go back to my speculative portfolios where I can buy anything. So yeah, there are a ton of ETFs, and Stockrover had a screener to go through the ETFs. I think I had one. There you go. If I look by ETFs, yeah, and then of course you have quite a few in the categories. But yeah, looking at ETFs, it's, yeah, I prefer to look at equities in my case. Okay, so coming back to the screener, looking by volume. Okay, so we have says it's up. Google, that makes sense. SMCY, interesting. SMCY is up. Okay, that doesn't look bad. All right, let's move on. What we have? Amazon, Applied Digital. Oh. Crazy. And then you have, of course, the quantum stocks, which weren't up, as we've seen. If I was to see all 4 quantum stocks up today, that would be a strong signal that these momentum plays are back. But yeah, nothing there. Hertz up. That's crazy. Is it really that valuable after that fund bought shares in? I mean, look at this. It's not holding up, huh? It's not holding up. But puts are crazy expensive, probably. So let's see. Let's assume that it will take about 2 months for the price to go down. Yeah, let's see. Let's say it goes down to 5. Seems like could be some support. So to go down by 5, let's see what would be the return if it goes by 5. Not bad, 90%. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. So if by expiration date it goes down to 5, of course there are a lot of assumptions in these charts, particularly implied volatility, which can change. But yeah, not bad. It's not a bad return, and it's not really crazy to think that it's going to pull back to 5, huh? I don't think it's crazy to think it's going to pull back to 5. Let me see again what's going on with Hertz. Let's understand the details, because I know there was a fund that bought in debt, okay, but not in equity. Hopefully not. Let's see. Did I do it investors? Revolving credit facility, okay. Oh, additional debt and or equity offering. Holy shit. That's why it's down. Shares are up. Let's do it investors. Wow. It's already sold with more than 6 billion in debt. 500 junk bond issued in December. According to Bloomberg. Let's see. The ETF for solar, as I said, I have no clue. So there is this search I did earlier on the ETFs. So it's got to be probably one of these, either solar-focused ETFs, probably these, or the clean energy ETFs with solar exposure, which it's got to be one of these. Let's see what they did. As a matter of fact, TAN. How did TAN do today? Wow, it looks awful. Oh, that looks bad. It's not even close to the nearest support. Could be a short. It's up 3%. Not bad. Race. What's Race doing? Wow. No. There isn't a lot of volume here, huh? Oh, I don't know. This one is a bit sketchy. Yeah, 3,000 shares traded today. Not enough volume. And then you have the iShares and the other ETFs. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. So what's going on with Hertz? What's the deal with this, man? I don't get it. Why is this up fucking 40? Let's see. How much is this? 130%. Holy shit. Okay, let's do analysis for Hertz now. I'm intrigued. Okay, so should we do proper analysis or just a quick overview? Let's do a very quick overview. Let's see. When was the spike? That was on, okay, Wednesday 16th. So Wednesday 16th, for capital restructuring confirms data breach. Okay, there we go. This was the one. Yeah, that was, what was the name of that guy? Bill Ackman. That's why. So, is it really worth a 120% increase in the share price just because a fund run by Bill Ackman bought it? Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I think there was a lot of short interest though. Let's see, what's the short interest on Hertz? 17%, of course. It's a short squeeze. Of course, that's a short squeeze. Oh yeah, Michael. So TAN is the solar ETF. There you go. Now you know how useful it is to use ChatGPT. You know, a lot of people they're hesitant on using AI for analysis, and of course, if you go and you ask, is TAN a buy? That's awful. However, if you upload documents from the top holdings in that ETFs, like 10Ks, 10Qs, and you start asking questions, legit questions, you can gain a lot of insights, and it can help you speed up your research process. So I really like AI. As you see in my labs, I use it quite a lot, particularly to summarize all these press releases. When I'm quite lazy like now and I don't want to read. But yeah, so essentially they disclosed a stake of 12.7 million shares at a stake of about 4.1%. Okay. All right. So they own 4.1% of the company. All right. So it's an activist investment. Was that a 13D or a 13G? Let's have a look. HTZ. There we go. Fintel. Forgot my shortcuts. HTZ. Am I a human? Man, I hate those exams where it's like, identify, forget it will come down after hitting highs. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So this shit, have a look. Have a look at this. Yeah. You got about a 40% decline to the nearest support. That will be around $5 is where I think things will bottom out. Yeah. If you look at the options market, particularly puts for Hertz, let's assume 2 months. Is that conservative enough? Maybe. 2 months, and let's use some out of the money puts to take some leverage, So if we assume that the stock goes down to 5, you're making 90% on your investment. Well, on your bet. It's just not an investment. So, and that's assuming that it goes down on the 20th of June. But if it goes before that, imagine in 2 weeks it's down to 5, you make 174%. So that's why I'm trying to understand what the hell is going on with Hertz, because this increase, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I remember they had a plan to sell a lot of the EVs they had from 2024 and 2023. I remember a lot of non-cash expenses related to depreciation of those cars that they just couldn't get rid of them, and I don't get it. Like, why? Why is this up? So yeah, Cisco. Oh, what's up with Cisco? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at that one. CSEO. Yeah, it doesn't. All right. It doesn't look good either, huh? It doesn't look good. So I do see a very long-term trend. Yeah. But this thing is kind of like testing the 60s, mid-60s. And this is very, very bearish, this thing here. Maybe it's going to retest again that trend line. I don't know really what happened with Cisco. Is that earnings or what the hell happened there? 7, 8. What was that on the 3rd of April? Liberation Day, of course. Of course, that's Liberation Day. So if that's Liberation Day, I don't know, huh? I wouldn't think this is gonna retest the support simply because everything tanked on this day. So it's not related to the company. It's more related to the outside market, and I don't know. It's recovering. It's holding up, which is a good sign. But I really don't know anything about the business. And usually, you probably know from other lives, it takes me like 2 hours to properly analyze a company. I need to find shortcuts. I need to find shortcuts to do analysis. So yeah. Anyway, Cisco. Have a look. American Airlines. I shorted them. So American Airlines, AAL. That was when they released a press release. When was that? I'm not gonna be able to find the exact press release that I read before I bought puts. Yeah, they have a lot of news, but it was essentially a conference. Let me just show you that conference. No, there was a conference back in March, and just prior to that conference, they announced that they see a lot of decline in regional travel. So was it this? I think it was like in March. Was it here? I think it was here. Yeah. There you go. March 11. This is the one. So I was lucky enough to read this like 10 minutes after it was published. 10 minutes. And that was on March 11, yeah? So have a look. March 11. And if you were to see at the intraday, the stock slowly, it went down. So it was not like the press release tanked the stock. It was the press release, and then the stock slowly, gradually during the day went down. So I read the news, and I opened the short position. I don't know, 10, 15 minutes later, because I didn't need to do analysis. It was just looking at the press release and knowing exactly that pessimism is going to continue. And I think I closed it legit either the next day or 2 days later, or maybe here. 60% I think I made on that one. That was a good position. Heck, if I held it more, that would have been a very true baggers, at least 2 or 3 bagger. Anyways, American Airlines, yeah. I'm not sure if it's gonna turn around though, because the pessimism is way too high. So, yeah. Anyways, but back to Hertz. What the heck I was saying? So, yeah, I mean, this contract gives you freaking 19%, 90, no 19, 90%. And that guy, can I see it here? It wasn't. So this fund, Pershing Square, they're not an activist investor. They just bought. So they're just a fund buying. They don't want to have a stake in the company, apparently. A stake voting, so trying to influence the management. Great, okay, so what else? Usually when these funds, they file a 13D or a 13G, they send a letter to management. And that's quite interesting because that letter is pretty much a summary. It's a very well done thesis, and it's a summary where, the fund recommends management to take certain actions. And it's quite interesting to read those letters. Of course, when I say to read, I mean to use ChatGPT to summarize them. But again, your prompt has to be very well done. You cannot use simple prompt, summarize me this letter. That's not going to work out. The prompt has to be done specifically for that kind of document. Let's go back. Let's see what's going on. We got that. When was it? On April 16th, yeah? Perfect. What came after that? What do we have? Analysis with the impact of Pershing Square. I don't know how you pronounce it, but let's see. Okay, it required 4.1%. Makes sense. It's less than 5%. I don't remember what happened at 5%. I think they were considered as a major stakeholder. Shit, I'm gonna have to brush up on that part of the CFA, which I don't have. I'm thinking to get a CFA, to be honest. I just don't like to, to know all this and not have a title, that I can use to get a real job. All right. Oh, with the reported 20% stake, is the second largest holder. Okay. All right. What are these analysts saying? So, activist campaigns in the past and could also be looking for an activist role at Hertz. He thinks the activist investor, I think an activist investor is when they have more than 5%. I don't remember. I need to find out. I have a very bad memory for this. So if a fund owns more than 5% equity, what happens? Let's see. I think it's automatically a 13D. Yeah, there you go. So 13D is you have an investor who wants to influence the company. And that's the good one, the 13D, because usually they send those letters that are very insightful. And a 13G, it's an activist investor, but it's passive. So it's an investor that's passive. It's not an active investor. It's passive, and they just don't care. So they don't want to influence the management, the board. All right. So what do we have? Operates and reasonable representation. Okay, are they planning to take an activist role? Usually, that's what I've seen. This is not enough to turn around the sentiment. So just having a huge activist investor, it's not enough to turn around that. Shit. Just look at this. That was 21. How much shares were down? Like 93%. Holy shit. And they're still down 80%. I mean, is this undervalued? Let's have a quick look at the valuation ratios just to understand what's going on there. Price to sales. Okay, so it's trading below sales. Is it trading below book value? It's not. Interesting. Okay. Price to cash flow. Yeah, it's cheap. Holy shit, it's 1 price to cash flow. That is very cheap. That is super cheap. Okay, let's have a look at FinChat. Do I still have a subscription with these guys? It's the last day. Ah, shit. I'm gonna have to renew that again. How can I remove this message? Let's see. Let's see what's going on with Hertz. So let's look at the ratios. And looking for price to cash flow. And this is operating cash flow before capex. Wow, that's cheap. Yeah, no doubts. No doubts. Back in 2021, it was absolutely insane. And I gotta say that the price to operating cash flow of 10, it's not a red flag to me. I mean, I usually deal in stocks that have, just look at Palantir. How much is the price to cash flow? Like freaking 100, or how much is that? I'm just curious now. PRTR. I think the price to cash flow was about 220. That's an overhyped stock. This is trading at 1.2, and it was trading below cash. Wow, that's why he bought. When a stock is trading below operating cash flow, yeah. Since when? Since well, it's already a year. It's trading below cash. Okay, it's cheap, no doubts. So the stock is cheap. What else? Let's see free cash flow, because I'm curious about capex. What? The company? What's the capex of the company? What the fuck? What's the capex? Capex to operating cash flow. Holy shit. They have more capex than cash flow. How is that possible? Like why? Why are they expanding? Okay, I gotta figure it out. HTZ. No, it's actually here. So if I go to cash flow, we're gonna find it in investing, capital expenditures. Wow. Just look at the difference. So purple is capex, and in blue you have operating activities. Cash flow, operating cash flow. That's crazy. What the hell is going on with capex? Okay, I gotta find out. Should I pull a 10K? Let's pull a 10K. 10K or thank you? I'm not sure if the latest one was a thank you. 8K, thank you. Let's look at the 10K then. Capital. Expenditures, there you go. And that gives you an idea. Okay, so revenue earning vehicle. Said revenue earning vehicles expenditures, okay, and related disposal proceeds for the periods shown. capex, disposal, net capex. What I don't understand how that capex works then. So they buy vehicles. Okay, got it. So they buy brand new vehicles and they sell them. Okay, makes sense. So that's how much they bought in vehicles, and that's how much they sold them for. And that's why net capex was down. And if you look at 24, I think Hertz has one of these weird years. Let's see what fiscal year it is. So I hate it when they have these weird years. So they had Q4 earnings, okay? Q4 24. Third total. There you go. So that's including Q4. Wait, that's as of September 30th. What? Where is the annual report? There it is. I skipped it. I'm sorry. I'm just way too tired. Like I worked today too much. Overworking myself. Capital expenditures. There you go. Let's find out what the heck is going on with capex. Right. Okay. Let's have our capital expenditures. There it is. So capex 10 billion, and they made in revenue earning vehicles, disposal proceeds. I believe this is when they sell the cars to dealerships or anything else. So essentially that's the net capex. Okay, so that's how they define it. So it's not that they build new rental offices all over the world. It's simply because they buy cars, they sell them, and that's the difference. Which is concerning. This is exactly the issue I was telling you. That's the issue. They bought a lot of cars, and the reason they made less than what they paid for is because of depreciation. So depreciation for an electrical vehicle, heck, it's like 20-30% a year, sometimes even 50% for some models, and that's just crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's bad. It was even worse in 23. That was a bad year. Yeah. Let's see. Do they have any notes? No, they don't. That's all they say in capex. All right. Depreciation is there, and I'm not sure how the company is going to fight that. What are they going to do about it? Because it's not on their hands to fight depreciation. Yeah, we have another analyst saying that the company has to raise more than $500 million. Interestingly enough, that's exactly how much the company filed. Let's see again. I think that's how much the company filed. There you go. Who was the guy? Respect for the guy. Who was this dude? Babcock. Okay, but who was the analyst? Hang on a second. Babcock was the analyst? What's this? Is this an analyst firm? It is an analyst firm. So, or was it this guy? That's quite of a scary hero page. You know what I mean? It's too close. I don't know. So this analyst firm, they know what they're talking about. All right, great. The AI case for the company. What? The next chapters of autonomous vehicles requiring a robust collection of downstream fulfillment infrastructure. Robotic mega fleet. Our discussion with the tech enablers and OEMs over many years have hinted to the potential strategic value of traditional car rental in an AI-enabled transport utility. They want to charge robotaxis in a Hertz rental? What? I don't get it. Like, no. I don't know. Unless Hertz wants to buy robotaxis, which wouldn't make sense because you have to have them operating all day long. And in that case, how do you rent them for like 2-3 days for someone? No, but you could actually use them as robotaxis when people are not renting them, when they're available. You know what I mean? So if, yeah, it makes sense. So if Hertz was to buy robotaxis, as an example, it will make sense. Because if you have an electric vehicle parked and nobody has booked it, you can have it on the streets, collecting money from the robotaxi service. Okay, interesting. As to how quick is that business going to show, positive results in free cash flows, it's not going to be by this year. I can tell you that. All right. Anyways, yeah. That's it. I don't see. Do we have anything else? Cruise off after perishing last week. And that was the debt. Let me see the 10K. Sorry, the 8Q. 8K. Sec HTZ. Man, I'm rusted today. No, there isn't. What? Reporting 21st. When was that reported? That was on today, on April 25th. Okay, so this is a rumor. Oh shit! Man, I missed it. I missed it. I can't believe it. If this company, if Hertz, is going to announce before market open on Monday that they're gonna raise $500 million, I'm gonna regret this shit. This is a good short-term play. This is a very good short-term play. Holy shit! So this is a rumor. This is not an actual. That's why it's not in the SEC website. That's why it's not there. Of course. And by the time that's gonna be confirmed, let's go back to the report. So the report is saying that the company has more than $6 billion in debt. Let's have a look at debt, at the evolution of debt over the past years. HTZ. What's going on with debt? Net debt. What's 6 billion? The company has freaking 18 billion in net debt. Okay, let's see interest-bearing debt. So that would be in long-term debt, but I don't want to see leasebacks. Sorry, leases. Leases, no. The company has freaking 16 billion in debt. No. What do you mean the company is saddled with more than 6 billion in debt? No. The company has... Sorry, here it is. The company has 16 billion, not 6 billion in debt. How about if we subtract cash? Cash is just $1 billion. Man, that's bad, huh? $1 billion in cash. How much they're burning again in free cash flows? 2 billion. Oh my god, that's bad. That's bad. Do I have anyone online watching this? Let's have a look. I'm not sure if there is anyone to give me an idea of what's going on with Hertz Because I see a liquidity issue here. Huh? What the heck? Like the company, of course, operating cash flow. Yeah, so before we have the capex, which is how much the company spends on purchasing those cars for the year, and how much the company sells them for to, I believe, dealerships, or I don't think they sell to actual BTC. I don't think they publish those in in Facebook Smart Marketplace. But yeah, it's crazy. So the company is actually burning cash. Most of that is non-cash because it's probably a depreciation. But they have just $1 billion, man. That's nothing. So let's go back to the press release. This is very compelling. This is very compelling. So, what do we have? So, okay, that was shares on Thursday, 3% down. How much they were down today? I think nothing. Let me see again. HDZ. I don't think they were down today a lot. 4%. Shit. And Prima post market there. Oh, I still have time to short it with shares, which I'm not gonna do. Okay. I still don't get it. 6 billion in debt. It's 16 billion. It's not 6. Maybe it's a typo. Okay, the news weighted on shares during Thursday after hours. Okay. According to Bloomberg, that's why I love the rumors. I love them. Because they're not official. And if this rumor is correct, which I believe, considering it's freaking Bloomberg, I believe the rumor is correct. Holy shit. The company not only faces challenges tied to the yield differential on its secured term loan and secured bonds. Is that the yield? Is that 17%? Okay, the maturity is in 28. It's not now. Okay. But a settlement with bondholders surrounding a make-whole payment of 300 led to its 2020 bankruptcy. Let's look at the bond market. What's going on there? What was it? I had FINRA shortcuts. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did I lost it? Bonds, there we go. So if I go to HTZ, or Hertz in this case. So that was the 2020 bond, yeah. That's the one. Let's look, how much is that trading for? Was this called? Here it says it wasn't. So they have to settle with bondholders, and that will be 300 million for the settlement because they went bankrupt in 2020. And how about the other bonds? Let's see what is the yield on the other bonds. Okay, let's see. 2028 is the nearest one. Let's have a look. It's not callable. Oh, it's at 40. Wow, that's not very compelling. And it was almost at 0 in 24. What the hell? How much is the one in 29? That's very low. A bond that's below 40. What the hell? 25. October 25. There is one in October. What? And this one is callable. Wait, is this Hertz? It's gotta be Hertz, yeah. Let's see the chart. Okay, this one is legit. 100 show. Nothing to be worried. Nothing to be worried for that one. Let's see what's the one in 29. 29. What the hell? There is one in 26. So the bonds are relatively fine. This one is trading at 87. It's not like the company is gonna go bankrupt again, you know. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I mean, this bond is holding pretty well. Yeah, it was at 60. It's still fine. It's still fine. If it would be at 30, 20, that would be a bit of a bankruptcy risk. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, so that's the awards that we discussed, the 300 million to the 2020 bankruptcy. Yeah, so they couldn't pay the bondholders. The two sides have been deadlocked in negotiations over the correct amount. An equity offering, this if the company announces an equity offering after the bull run that we've seen here, it's gonna tank on the announcement, because it's pretty much taking advantage. I mean, that's what companies do, by the way. That's why they trade in the markets, to raise capital. So when the price is up, that's when you sell shares. So okay, that's it. Do I need to do analysis on this? Probably not. This one is it's an easy short. As soon as this announcement is gonna be official, I think the stock is gonna tank. Yeah, not a chance this is gonna go up from here, because that depreciation is still there. Let's do the following. Let's do the following. I'm gonna spend some time with the stock. HTZ. There you go. Let's look at the earnings call in February. Depreciation. There you go. So DPU. DPU. What the hell is the DPU? Depreciation per unit. All right, okay. 350 to 375, and our gross depreciation came in slightly better at 347, below guidance. Q4 depreciation was clouded by the sale of vehicles, and it's likely this will continue into Q1 a bit as we continue to accelerate our fleet rotation. Essentially, they are getting rid of the EVs. Gross depreciation continues to decline. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. We have less of the higher cap cost cars to sell. This will decline. Yeah. And four, we will be selling into a seasonably stronger sales period. Is it? We still expect to exit the year at our target of below 300 a month per unit. So that will be the depreciation per car. Okay, what else? It's gonna be in the Q&A. There you go. Here. So, let's see. A large portion of this was that. What's the question? The DPU, depreciation per unit. Yeah, that's the guidance. What specifically materialized that was below your expectations? Exactly. So it's just the volume and the timing aspects of the sale. A large portion of this was what we saw throughout 24 was the noise in depreciation as we're selling off the older vehicles, rotating the fleet. Yeah. So they got a lower cap cost going in. Selling through retail channels. Okay. Will continue to trickle. through until we. Let's see. 60% of our cars are less than a year old. Wow. Painful. At this point, or later, so we will continue to make progress. We've got effectively all of our model year 25 buys locked in. Okay, that's good. The model year 26, we will shortly start to look at those and negotiate those, but what I would say is we've been forced to recognize we need to change the fleet strategy. Yeah, so are they going to change it or not? Tissue. Huh. Let's do a quick search, on what's going on in the rental market. So let's see, car rental markets. Are rental cars appreciating? Hertz case. Check April 25 sources. If you don't do that, if you don't type this, it's gonna give you the results from 23, Okay, I don't like this outlook, it's just bullshit. There we go. These are the trends, 20,000 hertz, there you go. Yes, that's what we've seen, 2.86 billion loss in 24. Was that the capex or? No, that was the net income, I believe. Let's see, net income, there we go, 286 billion negative, yeah. Yeah, but it was mostly depreciation. I mean, if you go ahead there. Oh, bad. Look at the trend in depreciation. Holy fuck. That's why I drive a car from 2004. MGTF. Oh man, let me show you. Let me show you what I drive. 160. This. Absolutely stunning. In blue. Can I see it in blue? There we go. There we go. That's mine. Sick. Very fun to drive. And the best thing about this car, it's not depreciating. It's fun to drive. Absolutely impractical. Like, you can drive it from A to B, but if you have a family, forget about it. And previous to this car, I had the F in silver. Let me show you that. This. Oh, I miss this car. It was really cute. It was not fast. It was actually a very slow car. 115 horsepower, I think. 1.6 liter. But it looked nice. I mean, I liked it. This one is modified. This is the original one. I liked it. Mine was with a soft top like this one. There you go. Man, I almost prefer this one rather than my new one. In any case, these cars, they don't depreciate. So, yeah, that's bad. That said, there is a trend here over the last half a year, 9 months. Depreciation is coming down. So the company is actually succeeding a little bit with their strategy. Now, are they going to go from freaking 800 million to 450 in 2 quarters or in 2 days? Probably not. So that's why I think a short could be an interesting option. Lyft, is that another short? I mean, come on. I think Hertz to me, it looks like a very easy short to me. I'm not saying that anyone should follow my crazy bets, but this company makes absolutely no fucking sense. In the near term, I'm looking at a month, 2 months tops. I don't think in 2 months the company is going to be able to you know get that depreciation sorted at all. I don't think so. Yeah, Lyft. What's going on with Lyft? Lyft, I think, is the competitors. I think I looked one time. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, man. Cheers for sending me some questions. What's going on with Lyft? Okay, share price is holding up. That's quite good. It's positive. Okay, so do they have the same issue? I think they have the same issue as Hertz, but let's see how pronounced it is. So depreciation, 33 million. Am I saying this correctly? Hertz was like 800 million in depreciation. Ah, there you go. Other cost of goods. Ah, shit. So let me just have a look here. Is this a car sharing? I think it's like Uber. Ah, they don't have depreciation. I think it's a peer-to-peer that connects riders with drivers. Yeah, it's like Uber. Do I have Lyft here? Yeah, I think Lyft is available in Europe as well. I don't use it. I use my car. So, yeah. Okay. Let's have a look at the fundamentals just to see what the company is doing. Decent cash flow. 850. Okay. CapEx very. Man, this company looks good, huh? The CapEx is really low, so free cash flow is like 780. Not bad. So free cash flow is nice. Yeah, it's like Uber. Exactly. So it's a ride sharing, ride hailing company. I think. So let's say the balance sheet. They have 2 billion in cash and short-term investment. That's decent. How much they paying in debt? Let's look at interest. 28. Do they have any? The debt has to be minimal. 28 million a year in interest payments. Let's see. Liabilities. Long-term debt, 500 million. That's nothing. They can pay debt with cash. Wow. Thank you for the recommendation. This company looks quite interesting, huh? Okay, let's see. I believe they're buying back. They're probably buying back shares. That's not the company that's going to deal with investors. It does. They do deal with investors. So not a lot, but they've been issuing shares, which is weird. Like, why would you be issuing shares if you make 770 million in free cash flows? You know, let's have a look at cash from investing. Financing. There it is. Yeah, 50 million. Why? Maybe it's gotta be the stock-based compensation. Where can I see that? I think I can see that. Yeah, in the 10K. In the 10K. Let's see what's going on there. Or thank you. I believe it's gotta be a thank you. Let's see, 10K is the latest one. So you have Pfizer. Oh, there you go. On the dip from 30, that announced a dividend of 0.43, which made the 0.63 beat. Yeah. It has over a contract. I fully agree. So the company looks very attractive on a valuation basis. And of course, they have a dividend yield of 7.5%. So Pfizer, from a value perspective, it's super attractive. If you look at valuation, just look at these ratios. Price to cash flow, 10. And we're talking about a company that is responsible for the I forgot the names. I don't know how to pronounce the names of the vaccines, but it's the COVID-19 vaccine. And of course, they have the pill in China. They sell it a lot. But yeah, the company looks absolutely amazing. Dividend wise, check this out. Look at this shit. Dividends out for 14 years consecutively. Yeah, so each year they went up. And I think the compounded annual growth rate was about 10%. Is it here? Growth there. Yeah, sorry, 5%. So 5% increase in dividend each year. But the issue I have with Pfizer is that to turn around this, just look at the pessimism. Look at this. You see this? This chart, it's like 65% down, and it's really difficult to turn it around with a dividend yield or with free cash flows or with price to cash flow of them. It's, you need something more than that. And yes, they have a lot of drugs in the pipeline, but the only one that I believe was able to turn around the sentiment was the danuglipron. So it was the oral pill for weight management, and that was discontinued. So I don't know. It's a bit weird, this stock, to be honest. Of course, they have a lot of drugs in the pipeline, but I don't think any of those are gonna be a blockbuster. How do you call those? Yeah, blockbuster products, at least this year. So I don't think in the near term is going to go down. I don't think so. I believe a retracement is more than possible to the 25s, and that's where I'm considering to buy some puts on Pfizer. And again, it's a bet. Like I don't see this as investing. I will be honest. For me, these are bets, and yeah, I do think that that the pessimism, it takes more than attractive valuation to turn around the company. It takes a product, and that product, I just don't see it there. In the video, I discuss about the pipeline, and there is a part in the video where I shown what the street, during the Q&A session were discussing, and yeah, I didn't see any of those drugs to be really exciting for the market in the near term. I'm talking like 1 year. I'm not talking about 5 years. Maybe in 5 years, yes. I think it was even the CEO that said during a conference that it's not going to be a growth year for the company until 27. Let me just have a look there. So if I go to summary, there. So if I search by growth, there we go. So this was the CEO, in a conference, and he said, in the next 3 years, I don't think Pfizer will be a top line growth story. And following that, maybe, yeah. So this is key. Even the CEO is convinced that he's not going to see growth in the next 3 years. So, you know what I mean? It's difficult. It's tough. It's tough for this company to turn around the sentiment. It's tough. And I don't know. I really hope that the shares are going to bounce back. I really hope that that's going to be the case, because I'm definitely not going to buy any contracts now. Definitely not. Earnings is next week, so definitely not. Anyways, Lyft. Do you know what I'm going to do with Lyft? I'm going to add it into my analysis list. So Lyft. A very interesting company though. So there, add to watch list, and I have analysis. I'm not gonna have a look. Let's see. I'm just curious. Stock based compensation. How much was stock based compensation? All right, 100 million. Yeah. So that's why most likely they issued shares, is because of the stock based compensation plan that employees have. Yeah, I think there is probably a section where they will say exactly how many shares they they issued because of this. Okay. Okay, so for the entire year it's 330 million. That's a lot. How much was Lyft making per year? 5 billion. Less than 10%. Okay. It's high, but not super high. How many shares they issued, let's say, because of this compensation? Let's see, nothing there, nothing there. There we go. 23. Where's 24? There we go. So that's how much they spent, but how many shares they actually issued? There we go, stock-based compensation. But they don't say how many shares they issued. I mean, I could do a rough estimate based on that 300 million value and the average price over the past year. And that would tell me how many shares they issued for that. 330, yeah. But I don't see the number of shares anywhere. No. Ah, there it is. No. Where's the number of shares? Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna have to do proper analysis on this company. Interesting. It looks good. And from a valuation perspective, ha! I can't believe it is sitting at 5 price to cash flow. That's cheap. That's very cheap. Price to earnings. Holy shit, 216. So they have a lot of non-cash expenses though. They probably have a lot of non-cash. So net income, 20 million. From, just look at that. Just look at this. You get purple is how much revenue you have, and in orange is how much net income you report at the end of the year. Sorry, at the end of the quarter. Yeah. So it's crazy. I mean, the margin is gotta be very thin. Just look at gross profit. Operating income. Yeah. So there is a lot of sales general admin, huh? There is a lot of this. Wow, quite a lot, and that's quite from gross profit in yellow. Just look at the sales general admin. Wow, it's a big expense. Anyways, yeah, interesting company. Interesting nonetheless. So yeah, Hertz. I'm not gonna bother with the stock. This is a to me it's a very easy short. Yeah, easy. I just hope that they don't release the 8K on the pre-market on Monday morning, because the options market is not open in the pre-market hours. They only open from I don't know the times in the States. Heck, is it like, I know here it's 9:30 in the morning. That's when the pre-market opens. And in the States, I don't know how much is that. It's like 5 hours less, I believe. Those that say that Lyft has 2 billion in cash and 1 billion of debt. Let's go back. So cash is about 2 billion, correct? And that's how much they had at the end of Q4. And debt. So if you look at interest-bearing debt, yeah, it's about 570 million. So it's not a billion in debt. And if you look at total debt, it's 126. Yeah. But I think total debt takes into account long-term debt and short-term debt. Yeah. So the issue is that long-term debt has leases. Yeah. And these operating leases, to me, I don't see them as debt because they are not interest bearing. But now that you said that, yeah, current personal debt. No, it's fine. Yeah. So that's how much debt they have. 565. That's the long-term debt they have. Do you see my question above on Lyft? I'm not sure. Maybe there is a delay between my actual reply and the actual question. But yeah, so that's how much debt they have, and that's how much cash. And if you look at the net value, yeah, so it's negative, which means the company has more cash than debt, which is great, you know. So there are no liquidity issues for a company like this. I mean, the company is pulling 140 million per quarter in free cash flows. It's crazy. So yeah. Exactly. So just with the cash, you know, they're able to pay down the debt, and there will be still cash left. So debt is not a concern. And you can see here the actual interest expense. You can see the value there. So in the past quarter, they paid 6 million in interests, which is nothing. 6 million compared to how much they spent in sales, general, and admin. Just look at that. 430 million versus 6 million in interest. Interest is not an issue for the company. The interest expenses, I mean, the debt. Not to worry. This indeed makes me worried, and I need to understand what's going on there. Like, what's behind that selling, general, and admin. And it's quite easy. I mean, you can see that in a 10K. If I pull up again the 10K, it's gonna tell you why SGA was up, but you have to properly read this management discussion, and you're gonna have to search this very, because sometimes they put SGA, no, sales general. I don't know if they use a hyphen, or I don't know how each company does this differently. General, admin. Let's see if I search by admin. There we go. General and administrative, and hopefully they will provide a breakdown. There you go. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So general and admin expenses increased 66 million, okay, as compared to the previous year. So they're up. The increase was primarily due to the increase of 69 million in certain loss contingencies and tax accruals and settlements. Okay, not a big issue. No, 16 million in consultant advisory, that's nothing. I want to know, why is it so high? 34 primary jump by 29 gain. Yeah, they're released in San Francisco. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do analysis on on Lyft to understand why that sales general and admin is so high. I mean, we've already seen that this stock-based compensation was around 330 million. But what's the rest? you know, what's the rest of the 937 million? Let's see, maybe there is more information. Probably not. All right, anything else there? No. Yeah, probably there is no information on this. There you go. That's the breakdown of the total stock-based compensation expense. Yeah. Nothing there. No. All right. Anyways, these are general expenses. So yeah, PE ratio is high, but many companies have no PE. I mean, how much is Uber? The PE ratio for Uber? Let's see. Do they have earnings? Valuation. They do. 17. Okay. Yeah, but the reason why it's high is because they had a year where coincidentally that net income was close to zero. So that's why anything divided by something close to zero goes very high. So I was gonna check on FinChat the actual variation of P. So financials, ratios, P ratio. You see what I mean? So if they have a quarter where they report an earnings value that's very close to zero, the P ratio goes up absurdly, So that's why I'm not worried. And in fact, this tells me that the company just turned net positive. What? They did. Holy shit. They did turn in positive in the past quarter. Look at that. That's an inflection point there, huh? Yeah, look at that. They've been burning money, a lot of it. Well, it's not burning because this is net income, it's not operating cash flow. But you can see that the trend since 22 is very positive. Like they had a positive net income in 24. What was you saying about high? Oh yeah, exactly. So it was high because you're dividing by zero. That's why P ratio was high for Lyft. But yeah, this is really good. This is quite encouraging, to be honest. Finally, they had positive net income. Legit. Not bad at all. Okay, that's fine. And that's why in this case, I don't look at P ratios if the company has just turned, the net income positive. That's why I look at operating cash flow. And here, it looks super attractive, like 6. That's nothing. And on a price to cash flow basis, it's gonna be quite similarly to 6, yeah, because they barely have any capex except on this quarter, and you can see it here in the balance sheet. Sorry, in the cash flow statement. Their capex, and there was a quarter or a year when capex blew up. No, there in 23. No, well, I'm just focusing too much on one point. In any case, it's cheap. And the fact that they just turned those earnings positive, it's quite interesting. So I have it in in my screener, and yeah, I'm gonna have to have a look at it. Sorry, in my watch list. There you go. Analysis. I got American Airlines, Lyft, MP Materials. Oh man, what a company! And on holding. I don't know why I have on holding. It was that was from some time ago. MP is a very interesting company, a momentum play. I think I'm going to do a specific video for MP over the weekend, hopefully. But just look at this. Oh, this looks crazy. So you have volume picking up quite a lot. And then you have the bounce on this support at 10. And just look at that. And that was back in August 25. And since then, shares are up by how much? Like 120%. It's crazy. It's crazy. So there is a turnaround in place, and it's quite complex, the story with MP Materials, because they are the only, I mean, the last shot that America has to gain independence in the supply chain of rare earth materials. And yeah, it's quite an interesting play, this one. I wish I could talk a little bit louder. The thing is that I don't want to wake up my partner, so yeah, I don't want to do it. It's crazy, man. I mean, I wish I had my own place. Um, yeah, heck, I'm planning to buy a place, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to allocate the capital, because either I buy a house and I remain at zero liquidity, or I gamble it in the stock market and I lose it all. You see what I mean? So I don't know. So far, I'm quite happy by betting it in the market, but yeah, sometimes you have to think about priorities in life. So having your own place makes sense, for things like this. But anyways, so that's my point for today. So it seems like hype is going up. I gotta say, hype is going up, and yeah, I mean, if I look at the sectors, just for curiosity, and it's gonna be the last thing I do in the live. Show industries. There we go. Table. Bam. One day volume. There you go. Software is up. Not bad. Biotech is up. Semiconductors. The usual suspects. Tobacco. That's crazy. How is Philip Morris? How is Philip Morris doing? PM. Ah, man. I've been looking at Philip Morris for a few days now. Wow, it's holding up. All-time highs. Shit, it's at all-time highs. I should have bought it here. I should have loaded on shares after Liberation Day. Let's see, what else do we have? Internet, drugs. Nah, nothing. So these are the usual suspects, which is fine. Biotech is up today. Speaking of speculative stocks, in any case, hype is up. That's good news for momentum plays. And yeah, I think that's it. I think in the next live I'm gonna do proper analysis on the stocks I have in the screener, sorry, in the watch list here, in the analysis, and the ones I have in the buy list as well. Let me just remove these ones from there. There you go. Afgo and Philip Morris. These two were in my buy list. I didn't buy them yet, so there could be a buy. Thanks, man, Michael, for joining. In which state do I live? I don't live in the States, unfortunately. It will be cool. I mean, my partner, she's from the States, and I've been thinking a lot that moving there, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough to to do that move. And I know I live in the UK. Unfortunately, it's awful. You know, you have a lot of rain and yeah. Well, anyways, that's it. That's it for today. I'm sorry to close the live. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. And yeah, any doubts, any questions, just leave them in the comments. Thank you, and yeah, see you in the next one.